Robbie Rabbit was a clever rabbit. He was small, but he had a quick mind. Robbie loved to hop through the forest, sniffing out adventure. He was always curious and ready to learn. Barney Bear was big and strong. He loved honey more than anything. Barney wasn't very clever, but he had a kind heart. Sometimes his clumsiness got him into trouble. One day, Barney smelled his favorite treat, delicious honey. He followed the sweet scent to a tall oak tree. High up, bees buzzed around a hole filled with golden honeycomb. Barney stood on his hind legs and stretched his paws. He couldn't reach the honey. He pushed and pushed against the tree trunk. He wanted that honey so much. He growled in frustration.
The tree wouldn't budge.
Barney pushed and pushed with all his might.
He tried shaking the tree, but it was no use. I wish I could reach that honey, he thought.
Just then, Robbie Rabbit hopped by.
"What's the matter, Barney?" he asked, seeing his friend's frustration.
Barney explained his predicament. And so, the adventure began.
Robbie looked at the tall tree, then at a nearby stream. An idea sparked in his bright eyes. He whispered his plan to Barney.
Barney scratched his head, not quite understanding, but he trusted his clever friend.
"We can do it together!"
Barney smiled. He was happy to help, especially if it meant getting some honey. Robbie was sure his plan would work, and it wouldn't involve brute strength. Robbie explained that water could make the ground soft.
"We can make the ground near the tree wet."
Barney understood.
He used his big paws to dig a channel from the stream towards the base of the oak tree.
The water flowed along the channel, soaking the ground around the tree. Robbie and Barney took turns, digging and letting the water flow. They worked as a team, each using their strengths. As the ground softened, the oak tree began to lean slowly. Barney gave it a final, gentle push. The tree tilted just enough for him to reach the honeycomb. Barney carefully took a piece of the honeycomb, making sure not to disturb the bees.
He was so happy. He licked the sweet honey from his paws. "Thank you, Robbie."
Robbie smiled. It was much better to use their heads than just their might. Robbie and Barney enjoyed their sweet reward. They learned that day that even though Barney was strong, it was Robbie's cleverness that saved the day. They realized that working together, using both brawn and brains, was the best way to solve any problem.
From that day on, Barney always asked for Robbie's help when he faced a challenge.
He knew that sometimes the smallest creature could have the biggest ideas. Teamwork made everything easier and more fun. The animals of the Whispering Woods learned a valuable lesson that day. They learned that strength wasn't always the answer. Sometimes the best solution required a little bit of thinking. It was important to be kind, use your brain, and help each other. And so, life continued in the peaceful woods, filled with the sweet sounds of birdsong, rustling leaves, and the happy chatter of friends who knew that together they could overcome any obstacle.